Afternoon, everybody. It's a little bit after 4 o'clock. I'll call the Environment Committee to order. We have our first meeting of 2023. It's going to be a good year for MCES. So we have a short agenda today, but an important one. So without objection, the agenda is approved. And the first item is the December 13th, 2022 Environment Committee minutes. Is there a motion for the minutes?
Move approval.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Nay, carries. And nothing on our consent agenda, which takes us to our non-consent agenda, which is 2023-16 stipends for the Metro Plant 4th Incinerator. And we have Mr. Abelson and Mr. Jacoby and Ms. Heflin coming on back to the committee. Welcome. I was just telling Lisa, this is one of, if not the most important projects that we are tackling, and we just kind of get closer and closer and inching farther along to making this a reality. Welcome to the committee.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Mr. Chair, members of the Environment Committee, and Happy New Year. My name is Rene Heflin, and I'm here with today with Dan Abelson and Jody Jacoby to present business item 2023-16, stipends for the Metro Plant 4th Incinerator. This is the agenda. I will provide background information on the project and rationale that supports the use of stipends. Dan will compare our proposed council approach to that of the Minnesota Department of Transportation. Jody will summarize stipend research completed by procurement. Finally, I will review the project schedule, then request the committee's recommendation for council action. The Metro Plant 4th Incinerator project will install a parallel incinerator treatment train in an expansion to the solids management building at the Metro Plant. This project is needed in order to complete renewal work on the existing incinerators and to meet long-term capacity needs due to growth in the Metro Plant service area. The project provides a new incinerator train consisting of the 4th incinerator and air pollution control and auxiliary systems, including cake receiving, dewatering equipment, and energy recovery equipment. The project will be constructed using fixed price design build delivery with a performance guarantee to ensure the system meets emissions limits. We plan to shortlist up to 3 qualified design build teams to participate in the solicitation. As Environmental Services, Procurement, and General Counsel considered the unique delivery challenges of the Metro Plant 4th Incinerator project, we determined stipends to be one of the ways to address these challenges. First, there's a limited market for a specialized project of this size, which is around $180 million. And there is a large concurrent project by the Metropolitan St. Louis Sewer District to construct 7 incinerators, which could further impact the number of available proposers. Stipends increase the likelihood of receiving multiple proposals. Second, stipends ensure an equitable process. A proposer will have to make a significant investment to submit a design build proposal, probably between $800,000 and $1 million, according to our consultant for this project. Stipends mitigate some, but not all, of the financial risk of completing or submitting a proposal. Third, stipends enable the council to use information submitted with unsuccessful proposals on this and or future projects. And last, stipends invite quality and innovative proposals because they encourage creative and comprehensive solutions. As Dan will discuss next, our proposed approach is to issue stipends to non-selected, responsive, and responsible proposers.
Thank you, Rene. Good afternoon, Mr. Chair and council members. I'm Dan Abelson. I'm an associate general counsel. I'm going to talk a little bit about MnDOT's approach, which we looked at because MnDOT has experience doing stipends, and their approach to stipends is governed by statute. So under the MnDOT statute on design build projects, there's a stipend that has to be at least 0.2% of the cost estimate, and it goes to each shortlisted responsive unsuccessful proposer. If the proposer accepts the stipend, then MnDOT may use the ideas and information in the proposal. The proposer does have the option to reject the stipend and retain ownership over its intellectual property. If MnDOT chooses not to award the contract, then all shortlisted proposers do receive the stipend. And now moving on to the council recommended approach. We looked very closely at MnDOT's. Now there's no statutory requirement that dictates how the council does stipends like MnDOT has. We're suggesting a stipend of $260,000 to each responsive and responsible shortlisted proposer that is not awarded the contract. Like with MnDOT, if the proposer accepts the stipend, the council would have the right to the ideas and information in the proposal, but the proposer is free to reject the stipend and retain ownership. If the council chooses not to award the contract after proposals are due, then all responsive and responsive proposers would be eligible for the stipend. And then finally, Finance has reviewed the stipend approach, and the stipend would be an approved capital expense. Next, Jody Jacoby is going to discuss some of the research that procurement performed on stipends.
Thanks, Dan. Chair Lindstrom, committee members, my name is Jody Jacoby, and I'm the Director of Procurement Department. And in partnership with Dan and Rene and many, many others, we did a lot of research with other agencies, both public agencies and also with association, to find out what is some of the best practices in the industry with considering stipends, and then how does it affect the procurement process and the number of proposals that are actually submitted. And we have some feedback that's on the slide, but from the Water Collaborative Delivery Association that emphasize that owners should provide a reasonable stipend to unsuccessful shortlisted proposals when the proposal requires a significant amount of effort. And that's so we're actually paying them for their work. And then if their proposal isn't selected, then the council has that opportunity to pay for it and use it as we're moving forward with the project. So we own the rights to use it. The Design Build Institute of America also indicated that stipends are a means for encouraging participation in the proposal process. So they're going to be compensated for their cost to prepare it. Other utilities that we received feedback from was the City of Norfolk, Virginia, that said they've used stipends before. And then the project that Rene mentioned early in the slide, the presentation, was the St. Louis Sewer District, which has the concurrent project now, are offering stipends per team. And this is based on feedback from potential teams. So based on some of the research, not only with the professional associations, but with some of our peer agency partners, we believe that offering a stipend is a very a good approach to getting a lot of competition and paying the proposers for their time in preparing them.
So this is the procurement schedule for the Metro Plant Fourth Incinerator Project. We want to issue the design build request for proposals, or RFP, in June of this year, and we want to include the provisions for a stipend in the RFP. We anticipate issuing notice to proceed January of next year so that the construction can occur 2024 through 2026. So the proposed action is that the Metropolitan Council authorize the regional administrator to issue a stipend in the amount of $260,000 to each responsive and responsible shortlisted proposer that is not awarded the design build contract for the Metro Plant Fourth Incinerator Project, contract number 21P055, up to a total of $780,000.
Thank you very much. Questions? Councilmember Wolf?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Did anybody have any negative feedback on stipends, or was everybody in favor of it?
Madam Chair, Committee Member Wolf, I did not hear any negative feedback. It's really about paying the proposers for their time, and it's an innovative way, or it's an effective way to get them to engage. But based on my research with other public agencies and also associations, I didn't hear any negative. I did hear negative if you didn't offer one, because there was less likelihood that you would actually get the rigor to prepare a comprehensive proposal to be forwarded through the process.
Follow-up.
And in your studies with people, did they have occasions where the preparer said, no, I don't want it, I want to keep my intellectual property, or did they generally take the money?
I'm not aware of any, but I didn't have great discussions on it.
Chair Lindstrom, Councilmember Wolf, the only additional consideration that's different than this proposal that I heard throughout the research was asking the proposers what they felt the value of their preparation costs were. Not that it wasn't an advantageous idea for the generation of really innovative ideas that we could use throughout the process, but a different way of setting up the stipend.
Councilmember Vento?
Bullet 4, or the fourth bullet, if the council chooses not to award after proposals are due, all responsive and responsible proposers are eligible for the stipend? Does that mean if there's no award to any? I'm a little confused as to the wording of that.
Mr. Chair, that is correct. We're unable to award a contract, all responsive and responsible, non-selected or non-winning proposals, because it's meant to offset the cost of providing a proposal.
Okay.
Councilmember Fredson?
Thanks, Chair. So with the total being capped at 780,000, I'm assuming that means that you don't see any scenario where more than 4 entities would apply for this or seek this, right? Or I guess what would happen if more than 4 did?
Please.
Mr. Chair, there's very limited, and council members, there's a very limited number of experienced design build teams as well as incinerator system suppliers. Based on our walkthrough, we think there are 2 teams seriously interested in proposing on this project. We plan on shortlisting 3. The requested stipend budget would account for 3, and that's if we shortlist 3 and we're unable to negotiate a design build agreement. So we could have 4. I think we'll have a challenge to get 3.
It'd be a nice problem to have if we got 4 or
Right.
5, right? But realistically, not likely.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, if I could add, MSD, the Metropolitan St. Louis Sewers District, they did receive, this maybe is of interest, they did receive 3 proposals from design-build teams, and they are in the process of negotiating and awarding, so they were able to receive 3. But as you're aware, it's very hard, you know, I don't want to come back before you guys with one proposal for $180 million. I really don't want to do that.
One more question, too. Thank you. And then my assumption is that we feel comfortable moving forward with this, even though the legislature hasn't established some guidance, and I'm just wondering if anyone took the temperature of IGR just to make sure that this didn't get any kind of backlash from folks at the Capitol. And
We feel like we're on good, solid legal ground. That's, MnDOT's been doing this, and the statute backs us up.
Yeah, Mr. Chair and Councilmember Fredson, I haven't talked on the legislative side, but we feel we're on very comfortable legal ground. This is, the council has statutory authority to do design build. While the statute does not specifically address stipends, of course, it doesn't specifically address all sorts of pieces of the design build process. And this is a very common piece of the design build process. So we don't have a concern there.
okay, thanks.
Councilmember Vento.
Do you anticipate the possibility that stipends might be used for other upcoming projects?
Mr. Chair, I'll try. I think that this project, because of its size, its complexity, is a special project, and for this one, I sought approval up through environmental services, and then worked with regional administration and procurement, and I think it makes sense. Now, we should try this and then get together to lessons learned and collect review, but we have a draft work instruction, but I think it's for, right now as it stands, it's for special projects with some serious constraints, and that's this project, the 4th incinerator. You know, last time we had 3 contracts with 1 design build, and I think we typically on our design build, we receive 2 proposals, and we're doing the best we can in these times. And for this very challenging project to, you know, get some good proposals, good multiple proposals. So I think this one is a special one-off right now. Yeah. But I would like to pass it to Jody because I think it adds tools to our toolbox that she maybe finds has some benefits.
Chair Lindstrom, committee members, you could see me being a little itchy here. So this is specifically for design build contracts. And we have historically, the council does have authority with some projects, but it's not our typical contracting method that we use. And so you ask if it will be more common in the future. Maybe it depends on the projects, and transit can only do certain design build projects. I believe it's 1 a year
Transit can only do design build for light rail.
for light rail. And environmental services has statutory authority for buildings. And so it's very unique. Design build is a very unique contract type, and stipends is a part of the strategy to ensure that it's attractive, ensure that it's equitable, ensure we get a healthy number of proposals, and then whatever ideas that are incorporated, that we're able to utilize them as we move forward with the project, regardless if we select that proposal or not. So it's really a unique situation that's part of a design-build contract.
Councilmember Vento.
Thank you all very much for that clarification. I really liked what you said, Renee, about the lessons learned. I think that'll be an important part of this, so thank you. Appreciate that.
And I had the same question too. If we're doing these tens of millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars projects on the transit side, but that was a good clarification between design build and design bid build. Great, council member.
Thank you. I'm just wondering, are there any DBE goals in the request for proposals?
Yes, there will be. I don't think they have been established yet, but we will have, this is a non-PFA, so excuse me, Mr. Chair. We will have MCUB goals for this project.
Okay, thank you.
And remind me, do a little math for me. The $260,000 compared to 0.2% that we've heard, does that roughly equate to the same, close?
So, Mr. Chair, it is a 0.2%.
It is right on the money.
It's right on the money, so we estimate that the project is $180 million. We're doing a three-step approach. We estimate at the time that the incinerator system supplier, which will be a separate work in the first step, the value of that is about $50 million. So if you take 0.002 or the 0.2% times $130 million, that's $260,000. I will, yeah, maybe that's it, but that's pretty much the rule or at the start how we came up with $260,000 per proposal.
Very good. Other questions? Is there a motion?
So moved.
And a second. Motion's been made and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Carries. Good luck on this one.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Yeah. All right, and no information items, and that takes us to the general manager's report.
I want to take this opportunity to ask the team that just stepped away. Really, really great teaming, teaming as in a verb with that. There's a quote out there that I think of often, which is, teaming is the engine of organizational learning. They're making a move like this for the organization is really important, but it's also touches a lot of our functional areas, even beyond procurement and legal, and our own procurement of our design build and getting that project delivered. And all those different specialties, those knowledge bases, coming together and teaming like this makes us smarter, makes the whole greater than the sum of the parts. So, you know, first I thank the group for teaming so well, but I promise to you, my commitment is to continue to help us team more and more so that we can bring this kind of good work forward. As the world gets more complex and faster changing, we need to be able to bring our smart people in the council together to come up with new ways of getting our work done. And this is one of those examples that says the council can do really good work because of the family of organizations and the specialties we have. So I'm looking forward to 2023, your partnership. Appreciate you making it a priority to come in for one lone business item, but a very important one today.
Well, the easy answer would be to be like, hey, this isn't the way we do it, you know, like, we've always done it this other way, so that's how we're gonna do it. But yeah, we're figuring out a different way and perhaps a better way, hopefully a better way. Councilmember Vento.
Mr. Chair, Lisa, this is going to sound rather hokey, but I'm going to say it anyway. What I liked what you said about it being a team and a family is that although there were 3 presenters, there are a whole lot of you out there. And I don't know if you had to be here, but you're all smiling. And I noticed during the presentation, a number of you nodding your head as your colleagues were speaking. And I just find that really uplifting, especially when we live in such contentious times. So kudos to you all.
Thank you.
And with that, we are adjourned. Thank you, everybody. So.